Welcome to Down the Right Field Line. Today we're going to be talking about Prince Fielder. Just signed a big contract. How is that going to affect him and the division he's going to? We're also going to be talking about some arbitration cases that the Marlins are going to be going through, as well as some changes that ESPN is saying that baseball should enact in order to make baseball more interesting, as well as some other moves going on in Major League Baseball. Stay tuned. Down the Right Field Line next. Welcome guys to the latest edition of Down the Right Field Line. As we mentioned last week, we have a new feature. You can now fast forward to any part of the show by clicking on one of these boxes, or throughout the show you can click on one of the boxes on the bottom of the screen to fast forward to another segment. Well, let's get right into it. Prince Fielder is off the market. 9 years, $214 million. Finally, it's done. Scott Boras, dragged this out for as long as he could, and he's going to the Tigers.
What?
That changes that whole division and makes the Tigers, I think, the front runner. What do you think, Raf?
Yeah, to be honest, even before Fielder, they looked like the favorites, and now they look like they're going to run away with it, even though they lost Victor Martinez with a torn ACL. Just having Fielder and Cabrera hit back-to-back, my goodness, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Good luck, whoever's going to, it'll be a tough road to the World Series, and who knows, it may have to go through Detroit.
I think it really puts the Tigers, amongst the best in the American League, just because they already have pitching. The MVP of the American League is their ace. And now you're going to throw in Cabrera and Prince Fielder, which I didn't even think about that combination. That's better than the Braun Fielder combination.
Exactly.
You have two guys that can hit over 90 home runs, and in that ballpark, yeah, I agree with you. They can run away with that division with the White Sox being as weak as they are.
We'll see what happens. The Tigers signed Fielder to play first base. I'm sure Cabrera will DH this year, play some third, maybe even play some left again. And the question will be next year, when Victor Martinez is healthy and ready to go. What's going to happen there? Do you think, Victor Martinez gets dealt? Do you think Cabrera now shifts to third base permanently with Victor Martinez at DH? What do you think ends up happening in 2013?
I didn't even think about this. All this stuff is just coming in right now, and I don't know. I don't think Cabrera can play third base anymore. The outfield would be really out of the question. Well, what do you do with Victor Martinez? I think he'd probably be dealt. That would be my conclusion. You have a lot of value with him since he can still catch and play first base. You probably just have to deal the guy and say, you got injured at the wrong time. We had a chance to make a deal like this, and you're the odd man out. So one of the things that's been trending on Tuesday on Twitter has been the article that was released by ESPN, citing some game changers that would affect the game of baseball that they say will make the game better. Now, Rafi, you and I talked about it a little bit, and some of these things are really controversial. Let me throw one at you, and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
One of the things they wanted to do is schedule doubleheaders. They cited how right now the only reason they have doubleheaders is because of rain delays or rainouts and stuff like that. Whereas in the past, doubleheaders were already scheduled on Sundays, and they were just played out. Do you think they should start scheduling doubleheaders again?
As a fan, yeah. As a fan, what better way to spend an afternoon in baseball to watch two games, go to a ball game twice. That's great. I think that they should bring those back. In terms of the athletes, I don't know if it's such a good idea. You already have one game, which is stressful enough. And now, if you're gonna add a second one, and yeah, it happens during rain delays, and you have, you don't normally start all your starters in both games, but it still kind of throws everything off. But it's really hard to go back to how it used to be. But as a fan, I'd be more than thrilled to have those.
I've never attended a doubleheader. Have you, Raf?
No, I have never. I guess that's something on my bucket list. But
yeah. I mean, definitely it's one of the great things about baseball. No other sport has something as much fun as a doubleheader. Right. So I think that's kind of what they were trying to chase there on that article.
And, speaking of doubleheaders and how the games are long, the other topic was shortening the game to 8 innings rather than the traditional 9 innings.
I don't want to touch that one, Raf.
I
mean, that's one of the best things about baseball is, not having a time clock. The game ends when it ends. There's a certain symmetry with baseball where you have 9 innings, you got 90 feet, you got 9 players. There's all these numbers that just coincide with each other very well, and then you're going to cut it to 8 innings, almost like high school baseball, which is 7 innings. You don't want to mess with the game that's been going on for this many years. You change 1 or 2 things, you add the wild card to make it more competitive, but 9 innings, that's how much a game should be played, and you can't touch that number.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%.
So now moving on to a different topic, a lot of teams have been offering arbitration to several of their players, and the Marlins, the way they negotiate with their players is they offer a certain amount of salary. If the player offers a different amount, they negotiate up until the deadline, and if a deal isn't reached per team policy, stop negotiating until the arbitration case. The only 2 Marlins that weren't signed were Ep2Sea2 Sanchez and Bonifacio. So those 2 guys going through arbitration. Raf, do you think the Marlins should have just stepped up and said, Sanchez, you had a great year, you deserve the $1.1 million?
Sanchez and Bonifacio, both of them deserve it. I mean, maybe Bonifacio, proved it 1 year, and so maybe you need more time for that. But Sanchez has done it. What is it now? 3 years now?
Yep.
2 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just, it's not his fault he wasn't getting run support there at the end. But definitely, he's the type of pitcher. He, at one point in the season, was the Marlins' ace. And so, you have a guy like Sanchez who should be slotted in at 3 this upcoming season. This guy, we know, is the real deal. We know is the real deal. He was injured. He's healthy now. He's getting the job done on the mound. He's thrown, I believe, how many one-hitters? Like 1 or 2 one-hitters and the no-hitter in 2006. This guy's a real pitcher. And I think he should get paid. With Bonifacio, like I mentioned, he's only done it for 1 year. So I could see where the Marlins may err on the side of caution. But definitely Sanchez, I believe, has proven it.
Yeah, the thing I always get worried about these arbitration cases are, is the player going to feel some sort of resentment towards the team that's not offering them what they deserve? I know with Sanchez, a couple of years ago, he got injured, and prior to getting injured, he got sent down to the minors, and he got stuck on the disabled list in the minor leagues, which there's a different minimum salary. So he kind of got a little bit screwed in the sense that he was down there. So I always felt like there was some sort of resentment. But, Sanchez has definitely stepped up since, and he's a guy that, definitely deserves this bonus. So some of the more recent moves going on in baseball right now is Tim Lincecum just signed a contract. Raf, I'm going to throw it over to you to give us some of the details.
Yeah, Lincecum and the Giants have a verbal agreement of a 2-year, $40.5 million deal. There was discussion, I guess from the outset of the offseason as to, what type of extension Lincecum was going to receive, and the fact that Matt Cain is going to be a free agent after this season is, what's going to happen with that Giants rotation. You saw Jonathan Sanchez was already dealt, And so, you still have Barry Zito's large contract there. And so it was pretty much pick and choose which one you want on your rotation. You want Tim Lincecum or do you want Matt Cain? They chose to, well, at least they gave the extension to Tim Lincecum, and now they're going to try and work out a deal with Matt Cain. If it were me, and I were the Giants, and I were Brian Sabian and whatnot, I would go with Matt Cain, surprisingly. Matt Cain looks like that horse, that pitcher, like that Josh Johnson, Roy Halladay type of physique, type of makeup, where he has that presence on the mound, and he's durable. Year in and year out, he's been there, pitching over 200 innings. While the statistics, Lincecum may have more of an advantage in some or the other, I think Matt Cain has more of an advantage overall. They chose to go with signing Lincecum 2-year deal. Let's see what they do with Matt Cain.
This week's edition of Fair or Foul, Rafi's going to be talking about the fourth outfielder for the Marlins. We're going to be going to spring training. Our outfield's pretty much going to be Lomo, Bonifacio, and Stanton. But there's going to be kind of a battle for that fourth spot. You're going to have Cousins, Peterson, Chris Coghlan, and Aaron Rowan all fighting for that fourth spot. Raf, what do you think?
Well, let me start off by saying, in my opinion, I think we're going to have 5 outfielders on the ball club. Because you've got Hayes, Dobbs, either Murphy or Nick Green, and then you have 2 more spots available. So, of the 2, I think Peterson is more of a lock to fill one of those. So, let's concentrate on that 5th outfielder spot with Rowan, Coghlan, Cousins. But, plain and simple, Aaron Rowan's the guy. Aaron Rowan, in my opinion, is the guy in the outfield. Yes, Chris Coghlan, former National League Rookie of the Year, top 10 in batting average in 2009. An incredible player. He's got all the heart. He's the type of ball player that you want on your ball club. Except for the fact that right now, he's working back to health. And, in a way, he kind of played himself out of Miami, in my opinion. Emilio Bonifacio separated himself last season. And with the emergence of Lomo and Stanton, now Coghlan's in a flux. And we signed Jose Reyes at short, so that moves Hanley to third. That blocks him there. Omar Infante signed an extension that blocks Coghlan there. So, it kind of leads into, okay, well, now your spot is backup outfielder, and I think Aaron Rowan possesses that outfield ability, that presence, that range, that it factor in the outfield. Yeah, he might not be able to hit as well as he used to, but I think the fact that he can field and the fact that he's been in the World Series both in 2005 and 2010 and has experience with the Phillies as well, I think that embodies what this team needs. We have Dobbs, we have Reyes, we have Rowan if he makes the ball club, we have Burley, we have guys that have been there, done that, Zambrano, and to me, I think it would be a disservice if Aaron Rowan is not on the ball club in 2012.
So our question for this week is, who should be that fourth outfielder for the Miami Marlins in 2012? Tweet us your answers, comment on this video, and let us know so that we can tally up some totals for next week. That's it for this edition of Down the Right Field Line. Continue following us. See us next week as we're going to talk more about other stuff going on in Major League Baseball. As for now, that's it. And don't forget our random video of the week, which we like to call
The Major Freak Out.